Hey everybody, welcome to the Know Nothings podcast number
65.
65. We have it set up a little different. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna do hot takes with hot wings.
Hot takes with hot wings, and we're going to get increasingly, the bigger the bottle, the easier it is to swallow.
Yeah, apparently that's what it is. So I guess we'll talk about them as we go. With the first one we got, it's Tapatio.
We haven't tried any of these, so we don't know what this is. Have you tried any of them? I haven't tried any of them.
I have smoked these wings, and we're gonna ask a question, and then we're both gonna talk about that question, and then
Try the wing.
We're gonna eat a wing and do a question, and we'll see how far we get.
Hot takes with hot wings. Let's see if we can get through all 5 in an hour.
The one on the end here, I bought. I can already feel it in my face. This one is so tiny. At the store, they made you sign a waiver if you wanted to taste it. And they would only let you take a toothpick and dip the very end of a toothpick in it and put it in your mouth.
Did you even do that?
No, I did not.
So you have neither one of us have any idea what we're getting into.
No.
How coated are those wings?
They're pretty coated. I just dribbled it
Even
on
with
there.
even with the bad boy?
Yeah, kind of. What I did was I put my salt and pepper on there, whatever, and I put oil on them.
Yeah.
And then when I put the hot sauce on them, I rolled them around in the hot sauce, so it's coated pretty good.
Well, let's get busy. Let's see. I'm ready to try.
You want to do the top? I'll do the bottom.
Now
Hey, let me get us some towels.
Tapatio. Now we are familiar with that. What do you want to give us the what the hot take's going to be, or what we're going to opine?
Okay.
Should we try the wing first, or should we do the take, and then while we're doing the take, we try the wing?
Here,
you got milk. I've just got a Pepsi. All I wanted was one Pepsi.
I've got milk and I've got a Modelo. So
sweet. You're in good shape.
All right. So
it's gonna make a nasty throw up.
We're just pretty much ripping off a show that one of my favorite shows.
So they already did this.
Well, they do this a lot.
Oh,
this is like their whole show, but we're doing it. So
cool.
Careful touching that. That doesn't. You don't really have to touch it.
Yeah, I didn't mean
that's
to.
the loud mic. That's the loud mic.
I'm the loud mouth.
Okay, so I actually touched my forehead after I moved some of these around, and my forehead's on fire. So
we're gonna start here with the
Tapatios. Okay.
What's your subject there? Are we gonna just try these
so we asked
first?
ChatGPT. Let's just try it first. This is Tapatios. This should be nothing, unless I got them backwards. It's pretty good. It's a good wing.
Yeah, that's just a good wing.
I smoked them. This Tapatios. It's got good.
This is one I would I gladly eat the whole wing, but I'm tasting a little kick on it there.
Oh, okay. Right. I washed my hands in between every time so I didn't get any cross contamination. There's no cross contamination.
That's the kind of kick I like though. That's just good.
I really did touch my forehead after touching that hot one.
Smooth.
My forehead.
Yeah, the Tapatio. Yeah, just a tradition. That's more like nothing crazy at all.
Like a hot.
What is that? Maybe 1,000 Scovilles?
I have no clue, but it's not a lot. All right. Ask ChatGPT for some hot take questions. My forehead is burning because I touched it. Don't touch your eyes.
Yeah. Or
your face. I've already made that decision that I already messed up. Okay. Should billionaires be taxed out of existence to close the wealth gap?
Oh, I like this one. So, billionaires should not be taxed out of existence. I don't necessarily believe that I would want to be a billionaire. I don't know that it's necessary, but it's also hard to scale to some of the things people want to do, some of the advancements you need to do for modern society.
Right.
It's hard for somebody to buy a $9 billion company if you don't let anyone acquire $1 billion worth of assets.
Yeah.
Now, the tax rate to me should be crazy high. You should never have taxes on capital gains that you haven't taken yet, right? So that's the craziest policy I've ever heard. So as long as a billionaire kept their assets in a company, in stocks, bonds, kept their wealth there, I don't believe you should tax it. Now,
Well, that
you
just,
should tax it.
if you do that, if you keep your money in there and it's not taxed, that actually just helps the economy.
That just helps the economy, and it helps, and it gives them leverage to buy other companies. You don't want a society, I don't believe, where these types of companies can't exist or can't be purchased. The only people that can really purchase or run those has to be billionaires. Now, I would say on ordinary income, everything over $100 million, tax at 99%.
Oh yeah,
tax it at 99%. Like, why not? What's the negative to not? That's what I'm talking about. If you on earned income now,
right?
You earned $300 million this year.
Okay.
So your first $100 million is just subject to regular income tax, 37% or whatever it is. At $101 million, it starts being taxed at 90. I said 99. I would be okay. Yeah, 99 is really how I feel.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a bunch. What would?
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I think that there should be like a percentage of flat tax and everybody pays the percentage. So
Yeah,
if you go out and you pay,
but we're not now. There's a bill right now for a flat tax, which I love. Like abolish the IRS, just have a flat tax. In that scenario, billionaires still end up paying all the taxes because they're going to buy yachts and Ferraris and McLarens, and we're not, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, but we're not. If we're not talking about a flat tax, we're talking about the way it is set up.
Right.
Income tax now. You got to make $100 million this year. $100 million. It's like 50 lifetimes of money. Because you're in the U.S. economy, you got afforded the opportunity to make that kind of money. The rest of the money should be distributed to at a bare minimum your employees. At a bare minimum your employees.
But you can't give your employees too much money, or they start taking longer vacations, and you don't have. If they make too much money, this is how it's all set up.
I know this is.
I'm not saying that I don't think you should pay your employees a lot. Yeah. I'm just saying how it's set up. It's set up so you can't pay. You're not going to make your employees that. Yes, they have a job and they work for you, but you're not going to pay them so much money that they can just retire in 3 years.
No, you're gonna pay them enough that they can live in this economy.
Oh, well, like, I agree with that.
What you're saying, I
agree with that.
Kind of right, but as it sits right now, it's actually set up where you can't even exist in America on a regular salary.
Agreed.
Like the median salary cannot buy the median house. That's a problem of astronomical proportions. The median salary is not more than the average cost of a vehicle. Right. That's a monumental problem.
It is a problem.
Like, so what I'm talking about, I'm not saying it's not equity across the board where, the janitor now makes $700,000, right? And so does the chemical engineer make $700,000. But now maybe the janitor, because you had profits in excess of $3 billion, right?
Yeah, yep.
So now maybe the janitor does make $60,000 or $80,000,
and he can buy a nice
where
vehicle.
they can just sustain it,
and he can live,
sustain a normal middle class life.
Right.
They could have the same life that you and I could have making $50,000 30 years ago.
Well, it was like that years and years ago. The generations
when we became
before
adults.
us.
Well, shit. When me and you became adults, I bought my first house for $82,000.
Yeah, well,
I made about 40. My house was double. I bought the brand new truck I bought was $11,700. Brought my wife a brand new car on the same day for $12,000, and then drove those cars a week later and moved into my brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bath brick for $82,000.
Well, even trying to rent a house now, kids can't even rent a house because back you kind of lived in an area where you're like, oh, hey, Jimbo owns a house and these guys are going to college. Let's go ahead and rent this house. Or they're just living and working in town, and it's like, okay, well, here's the rent. Here's what you do. Now it's like, all right, we need first and last month's rent. It's $1,200.
It is $4,500 to move in.
Yeah, it's first and last month's rent right out of the gate, and it's $1,200 a month. And here's a credit check, Mr. 20-year-old. And you're like, and it's like, I don't have credit for that. It's
a completely unsustainable system. The homeless rates are higher than they've ever been. The hopelessness rate for even people that you, even like Gen X, like you and I, that did come of age in a time when we could buy a home, right?
Right.
You could see I could see a path. And hell, I thought that was hard, right? I was thinking, fuck, it's an $82,000 house. I only make $40,000. Now, the person doing the same job I was doing 25 years ago, they'd probably make $44,000 instead of $40,000. But my house for 82, it was actually for sale. My wife and I looked it up the other day. It was 385.
Jeez.
So the guy doing my same job is 21. And he's now making 44. He got about 10-12% bump from where I was in 2000. But the house I was living in is now 5x.
That's crazy.
And the Frontier I drove for 11,000 is now your neighbor has a brand new one. He probably paid 42,000 for it. So it went
crazy.
so it 4x'd. So if you were making 40, you'd have to make 160 to have the same just regular bare. I was just barely 40,000 and 2,000. You were like entering the middle class, right?
In 1 minute, how do we fix it?
In 1 minute, well, that's what we're talking about. There's a. I mean,
oh yeah, with the billionaires,
you say they say, oh, if you taxed all the billionaires all their money, it still wouldn't fix every problem. Well, no shit, it wouldn't fix every problem, but it would be like hundreds of billions of dollars that you could just. I would be okay with mandating, other than a tax, mandating it back to the employees that 99% over 100 million. Yeah. I don't know, but I know that we used to have I can tell you when we were the most prosperous, that's what income tax was. It was 97%. It was 97% in the roaring 20s on income over like whatever back then, 100 grand. But anybody that was entering that 0.01% was taxed. The rest of their income was taxed at 97%. Reagan turned all that around for trickle down economics, which has been. And I like Reagan, but that's as failed as the war on drugs. If you could pick two of the most failed things ever, would be that trickle down economics was somehow going to work, and that the war on drugs was. They've been fighting a war on drugs since I was in kindergarten.
And they also told us there was going to be a bunch of people offering us free drugs, and that didn't happen.
I was starting at about age 13. I'm looking around like, where are all these free drugs I was going to get on these on the after school specials? No one's ever offered.
It's like, hey kid, here's some free drugs.
Want some cocaine? It's fucking $100 an ounce. They're going to be giving it away to the kids. Yeah, right. So that's it. I am not for taxing billionaires out of existence. I do have a moral opposition to someone needing $1 billion personally.
Yeah.
What do you do? I mean, at some point it feels like you're just trying, like with like Bezos and Musk. At some point it feels like you're just trying to say like, you have $212 billion. I have $217 billion. There's no. It's what's the study like? After $72,000 a year, there's no change in happiness in people because at that point you have enough money to live and like sustain the basics of life. It's probably moved up to 85 now, but it used to be 72 whenever they did the study. It's that whole deal that it does. At some point, the money doesn't bring you like so. The 400th billion. But then again, I'm not for. Then again, I'm torn as a libertarian because I don't want to be mandating what people do with their money. But you think every once in a while there would just be one that comes along that's like, this is fucking ridiculous. I don't need all this. Is that why we don't? Is that why people like you and I don't get $1 billion? Because
I don't get $1 billion because I'm not smart enough. I guess.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
And then
I'm not driven
enough, and I didn't have a trust fund with a couple of $1 million to make $1 million. So
to get started,
yeah, you started. You start.
I mean, look, if somebody started with 10 million and they make it to $1 billion, that's like an unbelievable achievement. I don't want to shit on their achievement. I don't want to shit on their like achievement of the American dream. I just have to I just look around the world and like if I had $100 million, I could just look around and say our town, and there's like lots of things I think I could do with like 30 million of it.
I'm gonna move this right here because it looks like you're really loud over there on the thing.
It seems like at least in your town they'd be like, you know what, we're not having any more homeless people in LA.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, we're not like why?
LA's a bad example, I think.
I think people are real. LA's where you have all these
different kinds of people.
You have all these billionaires though, right? Yeah. Or any city where they exist, it just seems like once in a while there'd be one good one, but it seems like they're all Scrooge McDuck. It's like,
oh yeah, you're right. Swimming around in their coins.
I mean, you'll hear about a few things they do, but yeah.
Let's do another wing.
Sorry, okay. New wing, new hot take.
Don't
tax the billionaires, but do something.
This hot sauce I got at a Kia car dealership when Noah bought his car. They gave us some hot sauce, and it looks to me like it's just like old Louisiana.
You could have put that on the. It's LeBlanc.
Yeah, but that's the name of the place that we.
Oh, they had
Noah bought the car.
They had it made, so it's going to say I guarantee it was made by some. It's made by some company. They just
Well,
stuck their sticker on it.
it looks like it's just straight
Crystal or
up.
Louisiana.
Yeah, Crystal or Louisiana.
Well, I love
from the
both of
bottom.
those, so let's get into
Let's
it.
try it. My lips are a little tingly from the Tapatios.
That'd be my flavor profile preference over the Tapatio, because it's more like
Which one? This one?
it's more like what I'm used to with Crystal in Louisiana. Really good. Both of them been good. You did a good job smoking them. What's our second hot take?
Second hot take. Our social media platform is more harmful than beneficial to modern society.
I'll say no.
That they're not more beneficial?
They're not more harmful, and this is why.
You don't think they're harmful?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
The question is, are they more harmful than beneficial? And I say no, they're not. And here's why. I say
Okay. Yeah.
they're. It says, are they more harmful? And here's why I don't think they're more harmful. The media, the government, has lied to us en masse for 80 years, right?
Well, hold on. I didn't even taste any heat.
Nothing.
on
There was
that
no
one.
heat. No
There's
heat.
no heat.
No heat, just-
That one is just like a promotional hot sauce. We should have switched these around.
It's vinegar with some red Crayola in it.
Yeah.
But it's tasty.
It is tasty.
I like the taste.
It tasted good. That's not a hot sauce. That's a flavor.
Yeah. No kick at all.
You should
So-
feel how my
so the
forehead,
social media
you
thing-
should feel how my forehead feels right now from
where you
touching
you
the
shouldn't-
hot
yeah,
stuff.
touch the hot
then
one.
And then I touched my forehead.
Yeah,
Look at my forehead.
Yeah, you get a little red.
Is it red?
Yeah, it's
my
red.
forehead's red.
That's.
It's burning. My forehead's hot.
You're just gonna have to take a little towel and wipe that down. Yeah. So, okay, they lied to us en masse for like 80 years. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. The only way, and some of us who are like lifetime.
I'm gonna listen. I gotta go wipe my forehead. I'm
All
telling
right.
you. I'm gonna like.
Some of us that are lifetime skeptics already knew that, right? We already knew that like all these people are lying to us. This is a big game. But if we're being honest, most people did not know that. And the only way they came to know that is through the advent of social media. Social media, especially apps like TikTok.
True.
Social media allowed the citizens to do citizen journalism. It allowed the citizens to like, they're all making contact collectively. And when that starts happening, when 1,000 people are making content around a subject, you can figure out what the truth is, the real truth, because the citizens are going to get to it, right? The people got to the story. And this past probably 9 to 12 months has been the first time it's been massively exposed. You're just seeing a bunch of people like, oh, I had no idea. And like Elon doing what he did with free speech on X, right? Which was, you can love Elon or hate Elon, but I don't care who. If you don't, free speech is like a cornerstone to a free society. It's over. If you
Well,
don't
this
have
is
that.
why I also think they're getting rid of TikTok. It's not because China is stealing our information. If that was true, they would have shut it down immediately.
Of course.
They want to get rid of TikTok because you can film anything and post it when it's happening, and if it doesn't fit the narrative of the media, mainstream media, they don't want it. They want you to think a certain way. They don't want you to see what's really happening. So they got to get rid of TikTok. I'm surprised, and I will tell you this on Snapchat Maps, when things happen on Snapchat Maps around the world and people film it, they block Snapchat Maps. I've seen in Ukraine, you go to Ukraine and try and look at stuff, and when all that was in the beginning of all that, you couldn't look at anything, or there just wouldn't anything be posted. And those people were posting things. You saw them in the beginning, and then they stopped. It's because they can block Snapchat Maps, but the TikTok is too many people reporting live too much to not fit a narrative.
It's too many people. It's too many citizen journalists, and for that reason alone, the benefit of social media far outweighs any of the negatives. Which all of the negatives can be.
There are some bad negatives.
There are some negatives,
If you look at the suicide rate of people after social media has gone way up, there's a correlation to it. It may not be completely.
It may be tied to the economy taking a huge dump at the same time that social media is
It could be, but it's like teenagers and stuff.
Well, yeah,
Teenagers aren't thinking about economy stuff.
Yeah, they're not at all. But let me add this. So I raised 3 kids right in the height of social media coming, like graduated in 18, 20, and 22, right? Or 21. So this is like the height of social media. But we limited their access. Obviously, there wasn't social media until they were like teenagers. But you have to, there's stuff parents can do, like not let them have 9 hours a day of tablet time, not talk to them about, I know that you see nothing but mansions on Instagram, but that's not real life. People live in regular houses like we live in. We're not poor. Mom and dad are taking care of you. Like,
I get a little depressed when I see people's kitchens, and I'm like, good Lord, these people are way younger than me, and they have a really nice kitchen.
Yeah, because it seems like everyone's a millionaire. What it really is everyone getting tons of views are likely very wealthy, right? But if you go through, most people are just regular people, but it fucks up people's ego. If you're a teenager, like, God, everyone's better looking and wealthier and a better athlete. Like, we've talked about, even with if you get on social media, you're convinced that everybody in the world bench presses 225 pounds. You're convinced that everyone runs a 4.5 40. You're convinced that everybody has a perfect body. You're convinced that everyone's rich.
Well, it screws up dating. It screws up dating for in your region. There's all these, you can get all these likes online just like by dressing skimpy and all that, and then like
validates you.
It validates you, and then you try to go out on dates with girls. They just turn you down because they get more of a kick. They get more of a brain dopamine hit off of 100,000 people liking them turning around in their dress and showing their butt than they do you going out and taking them to a steak dinner.
And you take them out.
It's awful.
You take them out.
Sad. It's sad to me.
Well, then they realize too, when you're taking them out, that once you're two real people engaging, like they're maybe not treating you as special as like the princess you get put on this pedestal online. It's outrageous. Some of the but the question is it more beneficial or more harmful? The harm is obvious, right? And I think there will be we'll eventually have to have like laws and guidance, or at least guidance around this for like parents, because parents are as lost as kids. Like, I mean,
when you grow up, you think your parents
got it all figured out.
Shit. And they just don't tell you. Some parents tell their kids they don't have it figured out. And then, does that freak out the kids? Is that good for them or not? I don't know.
I try to be as honest as possible with my kids. Like I didn't like some parents have this like guilt or whatever. Like if they can't do something, they're like, oh no, I just have to find a way to do it. I would just be like, once they were like 7 even, I was like, well, no, that's $200, and $200 is a lot of money to me. And I'm not going to be able to get that for you. Like, they don't have to have everything they need. I didn't have everything I need. I'm fine, right? Or maybe I'm not fine, but whatever.
You're fine. I think you're fine. Let's hit one of these wings and get some heat going. This is one that I bought at the Pepper Palace.
All right.
And it is in the middle of hot. It is
Scoville rating on there.
It says ghostly garlic hot sauce. I don't think I see a Scoville rating, but
so before we move on, I said I think you think it's also more beneficial than harmful.
I think it's more beneficial than harmful.
Yep.
I think that
overall better.
Overall better.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Let's hit this It's a garlic. It's a ghost. I think it's ghost pepper garlic hot sauce. But it says it's in the middle.
We'll find out what that means here in just a
second.
second.
Made in Tennessee.
Outstanding.
Here we go. Let's try it. It's got a good flavor. I like the garlic.
Nothing's made me go, oh. I think that last one's going to be that one, though, right?
These next two are the ones that are set up.
Kind of take your breath away.
Make us turn the camera off.
That got a little kick on the backside. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel a little heat now. It's not overwhelming, but it's certainly there.
It's there. That's got a good flavor too.
Yeah,
I probably should have picked hotter stuff. No, I'm just telling you the next two
are elevating. Now, what's the third?
I want to we need to. We're gonna do an hour, so we might want to do a couple of. No, this is hot. I'm getting a.
Yeah,
it's
a minute. It's a minute later, but yeah. What's the third hot take?
This kind of sneaks up. Is cancel culture a necessary tool for accountability or an overreach of public judgment?
A total overreach of public judgment.
Complete. I agree. This isn't a very me and you we just agree on everything. Yeah. I'm gonna have to start doing the opposite just for fun.
Well, no, just go through. But cancel culture, like if you don't.
Can y'all see Samson right here?
If you were so opposed,
my dog, he wants these wings.
He wants them bad. Samson, can I give him a bone? Oh no, I can't.
No, don't give him a bone.
Please
don't.
Cancel culture.
Want a beard?
makes people like it became this thing where anybody who runs any company who does anything I don't agree with at any time, we should boycott them. And you start thinking about it a minute, you're like, dude, you're not going to be able to do anything. Like, you're going to boycott every company because, oh no, the VP, the VP's for he's not for transgender rights, and the CEO he said he went to a parade for Irish people. That's anti-black or whatever the fuck they did, right? Like, you get so in the mud with that. Like, I'm not gonna I don't agree with almost anything Starbucks does from a philosophical standpoint. I don't give a shit about Starbucks politics. If I want a coffee,
that's right.
Just get the coffee.
Well, I'll tell you a story about the Starbucks. I bought some Starbucks gift cards and went to hand them out to my customers. And a couple of my customers, I was like, hey, here's $20 Starbucks card. Go get you some free coffee. They're like, I don't agree with Starbucks politics. I don't buy their coffee. And I was like,
right-wing weirdos.
I was like, okay, man, it's just coffee. When I pay somebody for something, it's not like I'm giving them the money to go
They think you're giving them the money to fund the DNC.
I'm giving them the money for the coffee because they actually have good. Their coffee's good.
Now,
so I want the coffee.
I will say,
I understand where they're coming from too, but I'm not if it's free.
Well, let me say this:
if I'm giving you something for free, then just take it. And if you don't want to go buy their coffee, give it to somebody else. Don't give me the speech.
I'm saying, save your outrage, right? Like, what? Like, okay, if you really asked them, oh, really? Okay, what is it you don't agree with about Starbucks? All they're going to be come up with is some bullshit that Fox News gave them. Yeah, well, they used to have red coffee cups for Christmas, and then Happy Holidays, Obama, they put a regular green cup. Like, motherfucker, what? Like, you don't, there are no hard line policies. Now, really, okay, you could say, oh, they believe in unisex bathroom. What? Look, they just philosophically disagree with you on some political issues. It's not like they're grandstanding for if a company's grandstanding for killing babies or animal abuse or something.
Here's I'm handing out free cards to go get an abortion. Here, take that.
Yeah,
it's coffee.
If the CEO of a company is pro-choice and I'm pro-life, okay.
I'm not even looking into that. I'm just hey, does this place have good burgers? Yeah, okay, well I'm going to eat a burger.
But everyone did, and that's why this is number 3
on
this list, because the whole world did it. It's the same reason people are you can love Eminem, right? And then he goes supports Kamala, which is a bad decision. But there's I don't like Eminem anymore. What do you mean you don't like him anymore? He's still good.
Well, he's still great. He's still the GOAT.
I told a lot of my friends, I'm like, look, if you're gonna stop buying music, if let's say you're on the right or you're libertarian, basically us, or independent libertarian right, kind of all fall mostly in the same little bucket. And I'm like, look, if you're gonna boycott every artist that's a liberal, you're gonna have nobody to listen to, nobody except Kid Rock and Hank Jr., which is fine. I like Kid Rock and Hank Jr., but I
like them because of their music.
Yeah, I want some other things too, and I'm not gonna say I can't be oh my God, I just don't like. This guy's no longer a good guitar player. I found out he's, I've seen people be that nuts. I've seen somebody say, I used to think Geezer Butler was a great bass player, and I used to love Black Sabbath. I found out Geezer's a vegan. I can't even believe it.
That's him. That's his choice. That has nothing to do with anything.
And he's not grandstanding for veganism,
he's not writing albums about it.
No, but a guy found out this is how crazy people can be online. He found out that a bass player was a vegan. Now he no longer likes the band anymore. After being a fan for 50 years, I'm like, well, you're insane. Maybe you are insane, right? So I think cancel culture is a little bit silly. Now, if you think it's a big enough but here's the problem.
Hold on one second. Cancel culture with. Well, I don't want to. Am I pushing the Me Too when that happened into cancel culture? Is it the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
You can.
Shit.
There are two. If you want to talk about cancel culture, there's two things. You got the court of public opinion, and you have the real court. So, if I accuse somebody that's famous of something, and everyone just believes me because I'm a woman or because for whatever reason, then everybody we're not watching the movies anymore, and we're not buying the music, we're not buying the art, we're not doing all that, and then it comes out in court later
that it was all
a
bullshit.
year later that was all bullshit. nobody goes back to, oh, okay, well, we'll start listening to him again.
Yeah, you remember the Duke lacrosse team?
It's ridiculous.
You remember that case of the Duke about 15 years
Yeah,
ago?
oh, yeah.
The whole Duke
Yeah.
lacrosse team was accused of gang raping this stripper,
Yeah.
and they just like tore the program apart, tore the university apart. I mean, these guys, it ruined their lives. They couldn't get jobs, like blackball from society. Come to find out, it's all a lie.
Yeah.
Nobody ever come. They did. Then it's like a blurb this big on the bottom of the screen. 5 years later, come to find out the Duke players didn't rape anybody,
and their lives are ruined.
and your lives are ruined.
Let's be.
I'd also say on the left, I just found I'll just say on the people on the left are the wackiest about canceling everything. Like it's like these
And they may not even have anything in the fight.
They
just say it.
They canceled their own families this year.
Yeah.
They actively and openly on social media canceled their own families for voting different than them. As if their mom had now driven them to a concentration camp. They make that equivalent in their head. My mom votes for Trump. Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. His Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. That makes Trump not believe in any woman's rights at all and wants to put women in a cage. That means my own mother wants to put women in a cage. I'm a woman. My mother wants to put me in a cage. That's the fucking workaround that cancel culture gets you. You have to go around the world to. I mean, I started engaging with someone trying to figure out, like, what are you talking about? Like, and as you engage, it's more crazy than you think it is, right? Like, as they try to explain it, you're like, you're absolutely unhinged. So I think cancel culture gets you to where you're there, and where it gets you so frazzled that you're not even operating in reality, right?
Sidebar, real quick about that with family stuff. So, like, I've noticed lately that the White House has been posting all these things that Biden has done.
Yeah, like all the accomplishments,
all these accomplishments in the last 5 days.
Yeah, he's been on.
And so it's like all these things. So like, I went on ChatGPT. It said in this last one that he did more for the border and all this stuff on the first day than any president's ever done. And this is a White House post. And I went on a ChatGPT and I wrote, did this happen? And it said, yes, blah, 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 all this stuff he did on the first day for the border. And then I said, give me the conservative take on that. And then it gave me the conservative take on it. And it blew my mind because both takes just write the words that you can use to sway anything. You can use these words to sway either way.
Yeah.
So I posted both of those on there on underneath that White House post.
For context.
I said, this is the conservative view. This is the other side's view.
That was cool.
I said, if you like it, like that one and argue with this one. If you like that one and argue with that one, because they both are right.
They both are right.
Both are right.
It's in the way it's.
But it's the context it's worded, because the other side is like, he did this, but all this was done. It's just very odd and very strange the way. Well, I mean, I could read it.
Well, it's the same. It's just, you could take any issue, right? Like if
let me read it. Let me find it and read it, because it really is.
Well, that's why discussion's so important, and that's why I don't understand. Like, that's why you don't give up on your family because they voted different. That's why you don't stop engaging with people online. Like, no, talk to them. Like, see if they're rational and reasonable, and see if you can figure out how their mind. Maybe they're not an idiot.
So the White House posted this today. It goes, on President Biden's first day in office, he called on Congress to secure the border and address the country's broken immigration system. Okay, so his first day in office, he called on Congress to secure the border. Mm-hmm. Okay. While congressional Republicans refused to pass a bipartisan border security agreement, which you got in that security agreement, this was a couple years later, that it had giving $80 billion to Ukraine, or maybe not $80 billion, but giving a ton of money to Ukraine and all these other places. Anyway,
it gave everybody who was already here immunity.
So I posted.
That's why they didn't sign it.
Here's the conservative side of that. It says, on the first day in office, President Joe Biden took sweeping actions on immigration that many critics argue weakened border security and incentivized unlawful migration. Mm-hmm. Key measures included and then it goes and all that. Then
what are the key measures? That's the answer.
Well, I've got it right here.
Give us the key measures, because that's the truth. Whatever the key measures are.
Key measures include propose the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. Criticism is this proposal offered an 8-year pathway to citizenship for millions of undocumented immigrants without addressing concerns about border enforcement.
Yeah, that's correct.
Immediate green cards for certain groups like DACA recipients and TPS holders were seen as the blanket amnesty rather than targeted reforms. Additional concerns while the act sought... Go ahead.
That is blanket amnesty.
While the act sought to address migration's root causes, critics argued it failed to provide immediate solutions for securing the border. Executive actions halted border wall construction.
That's stupid.
Biden revoked the emergency declaration at the southern border, abruptly stopping wall construction. Critics warn this move left gaps in security and undermined previous efforts to curb illegal crossings.
So what did he do that was going to help? None of this sounds helpful.
Terminated Remain in Mexico policy concerns, ending this program.
You understand what Remain in Mexico is, how that policy works, right?
No.
Do you know what that is?
Well, I'm reading it.
Oh.
No, what is it? Well, you say it so we have to read this whole thing. I mean,
so like if you sneak in here from Mexico, right, and we capture you, you sneak in here illegally and we catch you, we issue and let you out, and you have a court date like 3 or 4 years later, and you stay in America and we pay for you. Remain in Mexico means, hey, Mike, I caught you. Here's your court date when you come back. Now remain in Mexico until your court date. And Biden terminated that.
Oh,
how's that good?
It's not.
There you go.
So here's the other. So then I had ChatGPT give me the other side of it. So the other side of it says this.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Here's the other take.
So this is the liberal take, right?
On his first day in office, President Joe Biden took a bold and decisive actions to reform the immigration system, emphasizing compassion, inclusivity, and modern solutions. Those are all buzzwords.
Those are all buzzwords, so I'm going to let you do whatever the fuck you want to do.
These steps were designed to address systematic issues with prioritized humanitarian values. Key measures include, here are the key measures on the opposite side. Mm-hmm. Proposed the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021 highlights the ambitious legislation aimed at to provide a fair and achievable 8-year pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, recognizing their contributions to the country. It also offered immediate green cards to DACA recipients.
I can't get on board with that one at all, because it's right there. It says undocumented. Right. If you're documented, and then I can see let's do the pathway to citizenship. Let's do all that. But like, obviously, the left is in the wrong, obviously, by the word undocumented. I don't know why they love breaking the law so much. Go ahead.
TPS holders and farm workers providing long overdue stability for these communities. Comprehensive approach. The act addressed root cause of migration in Central America while modernizing border security with advanced technology. That's much whatever. Number 2 was executive actions halted border wall construction. Biden redirected resources.
How does that help?
He redirected resources from the controversial border wall project to focus on smarter, more effective border measures.
Like
preserve DACA protections, strengthen protections for dreamers, reaffirming the nation's commitment to those who grew up contributing to American society, lifting travel bans, reverse discriminatory travel restrictions on certain countries, reflecting a renewed commitment to so blah blah blah. So what I'm saying is, you can write it however you want to write it. Whatever echo chamber you live in.
I'm not in an echo chamber. If you break down both sides, they're their side's wrong.
Right.
Well, like there's. Yeah. The only thing you'd have to do is you'd have to argue that, like, oh yeah, stopping the border wall was great for security. Because what the question here is, we're talking about if it was good or bad for it, right? He's saying I took sweeping action, did blah blah blah. That's the subject we're on, right?
Yeah.
That he did great things for the border.
Right.
You're going to have to argue how taking the wall away, taking the funding for the wall, not building the wall that's already there, and directing it to dreamers, how that made the border more secure. That's insane. It's asinine. So they wrote it with pretty fluffy words that can make you feel good.
Yeah.
But man, if you just dig this, and then if you like, oh, they turned over Remain in Mexico, and 99% of people would go, oh, they don't even know what that means. You didn't know what it means, and
I didn't, I read it. I actually just.
You think like the average liberal knows what it is? They don't. They don't know. So like, and then if you tell them like, oh well, yeah, that's an illegal person that came in, and they got caught undocumented, and we let them go. There's a court date, and we just want them to remain in Mexico until their court date because we don't know who they are. You have to get like to a wild place to be like, well, that's crazy. they should stay here.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, they can get there. But what? Oh yeah, well, you don't know anything about them. They might be a criminal, right?
Right.
And
we've had problems with that.
You might be another Lake and Riley case, but the left thinks that they should remain in America for 3 or 4 or 5 years to their trial, and reasonable people with common sense, left or right, believe no, they should remain in Mexico. And Biden, just saying that he got rid of that tells you where his priority is.
Right.
And yeah. What was the hot take we were talking about? It seemed
cancel culture.
We went.
I sidebarred it.
That's what you got to love about this podcast,
so
right?
we
We can. What's Trump call that? He calls it I like to do a workaround. He's like, we're talking about one thing, and then I start talking about another object and another thing. He said, He said, I bring it all back beautifully.
I can cut this part out, or we can just leave it.
We're
coming back, and the next one's rough.
Might as well just keep it. The next wing's going to be a hotter wing with possibly a hotter take. Comment below what you think about remain in Mexico. Should remain in Mexico stay on the books, or should Biden have taken it? Was it a great thing that he did? I mean, he tweeted out that it's a great thing he did, that he did so much to secure. I did so much to secure the border. Some of those examples of the things I took bold action on it. Some of the bold action I took was stop the funding for the wall so more people could come across. The other bold action I took was eliminate and remain in Mexico. So anybody that came over undocumented, and we don't know who they are, they get to remain in America, and we'll pay for them for 3, 4, 5 years until their court date. Look at how bold and big I was on the border. That is an outrageous thing to tweet. Outrageous. Pretty crazy. We've had 3 wings. Tapatio, LeBlanc, Fusion. We haven't had really a hot one. This little ghost pepper. It was probably 500,000 Scovilles. Does it have?
I'm telling you, it jumps up from here.
Oh yeah,
okay. This one, La Croche Springs. What is Crotch Springs?
La Croche.
Springs. What is it down in
LaCroix?
outside of LaCroix?
LaCroix, yeah, it'd be LaCroix. I would have been Louisiana.
Yeah. So this is okay. This is packed by Greg Brown in Eunice, Louisiana. Peppers, onions, vinegar, carrots, garlic, salt, sugar, and ghost peppers.
Does it have a Scoville rating?
No. This looks like it was made in somebody's tub. It's legit. I've been using it on stuff. I've had this one. I've never put this much on a wing before. This one's gonna be out of control.
Oh God! You coated it with the heavy one.
It's called Pop's Ghost Pepper.
All right, let's go.
Oh boy, you got a drum.
I got a big one. I got a big one.
Oh God.
That's what she said.
Oh God.
Here we go. Are we gonna be able to even talk through the hot take?
I'm gonna just try that for a second.
I
might have baked off the heat.
Let it marinate around. There it comes.
I could have put a little dab on it.
Tolerable so far. That's tolerable.
I probably baked the heat off of these.
No, I definitely got heat.
I got some heat. I might have wimped out and didn't put enough.
No, that's good. Nothing at all has made me
It's really just up to the last one is what I've been wanting to try.
We survived. All those are pretty easy.
You want to put a little dab on it? Put a little dab of this on there. Grab your little meat. Come on, grab that one that doesn't have anything on it.
Okay.
Let's get a little bit of this because this isn't
way too mild.
It's actually really good like this. I've been just.
We're gonna taste
oh God!
You went crazy. Here, I'll dab it right there.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Here we go. My coon-ass roots, though.
Yeah, I'm a real hot sauce guy.
I'm pretty high tolerance for heat.
Did you get it? Mm-hmm. You're getting
I got it. I'm trying to save my Pepsi for
that one's pretty good.
For this last one that you have to have a doctor's note to take.
Yeah.
Oh, so hot take number 4.
Okay, that one's hot, but it's not terrible. But it's got
clear my sinuses up a little bit.
Going. Are electric vehicles truly as sustainable as they are marketed to be?
Of course, but you have to have the infrastructure You have to have the infrastructure. Woo.
Yeah, this one's sneaky.
Available. You can't do something like mandate all EVs by 2035 when there's no way you can scale charging stations across the country in 10 years, right? Like once the infrastructure's set up, I mean, I believe that electric vehicles are super sustainable, right? They're going to be, they're getting where they're cheap to make.
Yep.
You could probably make a $15,000, $16,000, $13,000 base electric vehicle. They're getting where they're getting much longer range batteries where you can go 380, 420 miles. Performance is off the charts. I mean, some of these Teslas are insane as far as from 0 to 60 in quarter mile. Just right now, we don't have the. First of all, they need to always give us a choice. There's nothing. We're not running out of fossil fuels. There's no, like all this shit is just an attack on oil and gas. Like oil and gas.
It's just another way of somebody wanting to manufacture something different to make money.
Yeah, and EVs
right now. And
even Elon,
I feel like it's still kind of like a novelty to people.
It is like to me. I've never even been in one.
I've never even been in one either. It's still like a novelty. It's like, hey, what's your next vehicle? The next vehicle you're gonna buy gonna be an electric vehicle? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. I don't have anything against them.
I think they're cool. I'd love to have a what is it, like the S?
Did you know all his cars spell
sexy? Yeah.
Model S, Model E.
The S is the one with the gull wings, right? The gull wing doors. Those
Yeah.
are so awesome.
What do you think
But
about
I'm not going to
sustainability?
spend that money on that. I'd rather buy a Porsche.
For sure. That's your dream. That's your dream car, right? 92, 911.
92 911 turbo.
So if I won the Powerball, that'd be the gift you want. The 92 911.
That's it.
Not a 2024
No,
911.
I want the 92. I want the 92.
It is fine, but God, those new ones
They're
are
so expensive. The 92s, everybody wants them though. They've gotten really popular.
Oh, what 100?
Like you can't even buy like the SC, which was like the cheaper version of those.
Yeah, but
those
they were like
Porsches.
120 back then.
Yeah, now a cherry one is hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you want, like I remember, like even like 15 years ago, I saw an SC that was just bare bones SC. I could have got for it's like 30, and I'm talking about like completely everything stripped out of it, like metal floors,
Crank windows.
SC. But the SC was like the cheaper version. But now those are even expensive. So
There never has been a super cheap version of the 911.
I just don't think I think electric vehicles are cool. I think if I mean it's a little hot.
Yeah,
I think
stays with you a minute.
I think if but you're charging your car at your house or you're going to charge it somewhere and it's probably getting a charge from a coal plant.
But look at I mean you have to have fossil fuels to make
you
all
gotta
this
have
stuff
fossil
work.
fuel
You
to
have
make
to
it
make it all work. Generators. If your electric car breaks down,
So you're just doing it for the novelty of it. You're not saving the planet.
There's
no saving the planet. We're saving ourselves.
Yeah. We're already like the cleanest country there is. Like we are super clean in regards to the environment.
This is how big we are.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's tinier countries that are cleaner than us. Somebody on the internet will argue with you about that.
Maybe, but I'm saying we do a pretty good job anyway. Like you want to be a good steward of your planet, but like, give me a break with all this.
Well, I've been watching Landman. Have you watched that?
Yeah. So good.
Oh,
it's really
so
good.
They give you a lot of solid points about fossil fuels and oil and stuff. While they're
not even fossil fuels.
Well,
but many people believe that. They will debate you on it.
On what?
They think that it's fossil fuels. That it's from fossils.
Oh no, yeah. I know that. That's not a bunch of dead dinosaur.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a video literally yesterday. A guy talking about how idiotic people were to think that they didn't come from fossils. I went out of his way to make a video to talk about how that was the dumbest shit he'd ever heard. Of course they did. Of course,
they're dinosaurs.
Yeah, of course they're dinosaurs. It's just the Earth is just always making more of this beautiful substance. Just always making oil. We're not ever running out of oil.
You don't think we'll ever run out?
Never.
Even on Landman, it says you run out in 100. It says something like 130 years.
That you could run out in 130
years.
years.
Run out.
Whatever.
I don't know.
I don't believe it.
Think about how much of it we pump. There's so much of it.
But you're just always making more. It's like water.
Yeah.
We don't run. Nobody thinks we don't run out of water.
If we were gonna run out of that, they would be running hardcore to the end zone of other types of things that push.
They'd be trying to get
everything would be battery, everything.
And they'd be trying to get every ounce of it.
But also oil makes everything. It makes these bottles. It makes plastic tops. Everything plastic is oil. It's got oil in it. Everything. Everything.
Well, I mean, the only thing the only opposition to it is they've convinced these people that somehow the oil and gas industry is going to destroy the planet. They've sold them this lie. Everything they sell you is a lie. Like, when are people going to figure it out? It's not some stuff. It's not some of the shit they sell you is a lie. Anything they're pushing is almost always a lie. Hopefully that's going to change. But it's been that way no matter who's in office, left or right or what. Now, Trump has promised us a change, so I'm hoping we're going to see a lot more transparency, although we know there's going to be nefarious shit going on. But, everything they tell you is a lie. So if they tell me, the planet's gonna, hell, didn't Al Gore say 2019? In 2000, he was like, we won't make it to 2019. All the ice caps will be melted. Yeah. It's all bullshit. I'm not saying, okay, let me clarify. I'm not saying global warming is bullshit. I'm saying the Earth does change. There is climate change. It is impacted by
I think the climate
CO2
just
emissions.
changed.
The climate just changed on its own.
Changed on its own.
CO2 emissions.
It's kind of got in my throat.
CO2 emissions obviously have an impact on the environment, right? I just don't think there's nothing close to the catastrophic damage they want us to believe there's going to be. They lie to you about the vaccines. What else they lie to you about?
Oh God, everything.
Kennedy, MLK,
the Earth being round.
Malcolm X. Just keep naming the lies.
I'm trying to look at. Okay, yeah.
What was that?
I'm looking at the time because we're about to eat this last one, and it's brutal.
Okay,
it might be brutal.
But did you
take a little chomp off of it, and then we may put a little bit of this on there. This one is no joke. Okay, I don't like any of the rest of these questions. We're gonna have to ask a different.
Why? What's wrong with them?
We'll look at them.
I like. Yeah, we can. Well, ask it the.
Because it's gonna be at the end.
Then for the last one, give us some music related one. Then give us something fun.
Okay.
Hot takes. I love top 10 lists. Yeah, there's always something. There's always a hot take in that.
Well, I actually like this.
Should AI? Yeah, there we go. Let's do that one.
Let's do that one.
All right, here we go.
Because this will bring us home. But this, and then we can just talk about music, whatever, after that. Because there's a lot of AI generated music.
Tons of AI generated music.
Okay, so the next question is, before we eat this, is should AI generated content be treated as intellectual property? Let's hit this.
We're gonna hit this. First, we might not be able to talk.
We might not be able to. That'll be the fun part.
It's like 10 million Scovilles or something?
No, it's like a lot more than that. It's crazy insane.
All right, I'm going to nibble it.
Just nibble it, and then if we got to put a little dab on it.
I don't think we're going to be putting a dab. You ready? No. Go.
This was a mistake. Unless I baked it off. I'm going to be a little careful with it.
Oh, brother.
Oh, no.
No bueno. Oh, shit. You gotta swallow it, bitch.
No, did you swallow it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Woo. Okay.
All right. I'll swallow it. Oh, no.
That is broke.
I thought you had to sign a waiver to try it.
Oh, my God. That is the hottest thing I've ever had in my mouth. It's getting worse every second. Oh, God. Why do we do this? Oh, God.
My God.
Oh, God. This is stupid.
Don't touch your face.
I can't even feel my face. It's getting worse, man. Every minute. I can't even focus.
Okay, just...
You good?
Try
God. I'm about to start snot dripping.
This one.
Oh, my God. It's too much. It's way too much.
Dude, my ears are
There's nothing
doing
fun.
something weird.
People like that?
I don't think people like it. They sell it in this little bottle. And they make you sign a waiver.
I'm feeling high.
Okay, let's Let's make
What is that shit called?
it's called the end flatline
Bro.
hot sauce.
Oh my god, this is like so unenjoyable. I got a Pepsi. I don't think the milk.
Caution, this is extremely hot. Reaper peppers.
How long does it last?
Well, hopefully not long.
All right, what's the hot? Should AI, folks?
That it was immediate too.
It's making my right eye,
Miser,
but it's immediate, but it gets worse and worse and worse every minute. The heartburn. I took like the littlest bite. Look at this bite.
I spit out the first one. I took another bite, and now I've got.
Kylie, would you like the rest of my wing? Oh, should what was you asking? Should AI generated?
It's like a spiritual experience right now. I'm like,
It really is. It's like
should AI generated content be treated as intellectual property?
I feel like I'm going to the spirit world. Fuck.
Do you want some milk?
I'm good. I'm gonna keep it.
It doesn't help.
I didn't think it would.
It
Should
kinda
AI
just
generated content be treated as intellectual property?
I'm sweating.
I would say no, because maybe intellectual property of the AI, of the creator of the AI
Yeah.
program. But I don't think because like I asked an AI generator to generate me something that I intellectually own that.
Let's say this. Let's say I want to write a song.
What if it's a song? Yeah.
I want to write a song.
Or
And
artwork. Shit.
And I write the song. And then I'm like, hey, come up with a chorus. I've done this before, but
You're
it really
sweating all down your nose.
But it really gives me like these really dumb choruses. It doesn't give me something that I would like do.
When you do an AI song?
What if I'm like, hey, give me a hook, and it like gives me like these hokey rhyme scheme hooks that aren't cool. But also, don't have the best AI. I probably don't have the best one in the world. So,
But do you think it should be your intellectual property? I mean,
should it be my intellectual property? Let's say I want to do this. Say, hey, write me the first chapter of a book about a spy.
well, you know, a guy just released an album.
And then it writes you the first then it writes you the second chapter. You're like, bring it home.
Yeah.
Is that your intellectual property?
I was going to say there's a guy on TikTok that he just released a whole album. It's like number 3 on the...
I'm going to be a real badass. This is fine.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm fine.
But he had AI generate.
I'm going to have some more.
He took like, are you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
He took like
Oh, that was a mistake.
Metallica songs, Megadeth songs, and he turned them into yacht rock songs using AI, and then he made an album. Called,
Well, that's... The original content isn't his, right?
No,
This was a big mistake.
it's a huge mistake.
That
You
was
took another
I
bite.
ate the whole thing.
But he came up with the idea
That was a big mistake.
to make Megadeth sounds like Stills and Croft. So does he? And he put the album out and the artwork and then he had the content idea and he charted it. So he'll make some big money.
But he'll have to give money to those bands.
Yeah, millions.
Yeah.
Because it did a lot.
That's the hottest thing I've ever had.
By far.
You done dropped your...
I'm not interested in anything hotter than that ever. Imagine if you took a piss and you touched your shit.
My sinuses right now
It'd be terrible.
are more open than they've ever been in years.
Oh yeah. Yep. So I'm gonna say I think the AI generated content should be your intellectual property, I guess. Now I'll reconsider my take. Because if it's a song, you're just gonna. What are you doing?
No, I'm going for
You
it.
must love it.
I'm going
Here, you
for
want
it.
mine?
No. No.
Yeah, and if you're telling it, like if you're saying, oh, I want this kind of art piece, and you're creating, I want a bird here. I mean, you're coming up with the idea.
The damage is done.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna get any worse. Well, it is gonna get worse. My tongue is swelling now.
Okay, next we're gonna do this again, but I'm gonna get hotter stuff for the first
You get the hotter for the first 4. We'll do
for the
it,
first 4.
and we'll do it again.
Maybe we should have just poured it on there on these 3. Not this one, definitely.
This one had a little kick.
This
With,
one
like
was good,
we
but
dabbed
this one's
it.
really hot if you put it on.
I've got some hot sauce I got for Christmas. I can bring those next time. We can put it on those. This was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hot wings with the hot takes.
Okay,
Until I got to the last
my
one.
AI generated content hot take is I think if I ask it to write me a quip about something or write me a book or whatever, so what? Then I put it out there. I think everything I've asked it to do like that, just to see what it does, is very mediocre.
Yeah.
You have to constantly refine and work it, and it ends up being yours.
So
I had
have
a friend refine a joke for an hour on ChatGPT.
the comedian.
No, it's just a friend of mine. He was refining this joke that he came up with and refine, and after an hour, it came up with all. And at the end of it, it was genius. But he had to plug into it.
He had to keep going. No. What about?
Yeah, you had to
adding
keep
context
saying this.
to it,
Yeah,
adding
add context. So I think AI generated stuff that isn't someone else's property is fine to be your property.
I agree. At first, I was like, nah, it should belong to the AI company. Now, nope, because the creator has to do so much to get to the end. So,
All right, that's it for this one.
Yeah, we're done. Episode 65 is in the can. Stay away from this shit. The rest of this is good.
We're gonna do it again.
We'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
In a week or so. See y'all later.
Peace.
Eat that wing, boy.
Oh God.